Hello again, Dorn Markowitz here from Guitars Miami with another edition of This Week in Custom Crafted Cool Guitars. Today I'm very pleased to show my latest build that I just finished, which is RS number 7. This is my my 7th personal red special that I've built. And this one is one that I have lovingly nicknamed my striped pajamas model. You can see that it's butcher block style, the way that I built it. It's got all the correct hollow cavities on both sides, and it's designed like a neck through body. This central core is the same as the neck, but what I did was the block itself, I cut a special, tongue and groove type of paddle extension out of the entire block, so that way I could glue this block in separately into the body and then slot the neck in after I recut the shape of it to the correct angle. There you can see it's got the 2-degree angle. Basically, the wings themselves they consist of 9 pieces of wood each. The central core is 5 pieces of wood, and the fingerboard is actually made from the back of the neck that I cut off before shaping the neck, and I made it into the fingerboard. And because it's striped pajamas, the inlays are actual shirt buttons. I also did a shirt button here, and I did the shirt buttons on each side of the pickups. You'll notice that it has what appears to be an elevated pickguard that is the exact same layout as the body. Well, that's because that actually isn't a pickguard, that's actually a raised relief that I carved. You'll notice that the lines are actually identical. What I did was I took my jig that I used to make pickguards with, and I bolted it on top of the body, and then I used my router to route down about 1/8 of an inch and removed all this wood all the way around. And then at the end I even added screws to complete the effect. So when I routed for the pickups, naturally I had to have the slots for the tabs that mount the pickups into the body. It was going to look a little odd with just the slots, so I wanted to find a way to fill that, and so I used the buttons, which came out great because then it actually makes it look like the pickups are mounted in the pickguard or directly to the body. The body itself is constructed of, from outside in, because the wings are mirror image of each other, you have butternut, sapele mahogany, poplar, walnuts, poplar, sapele, poplar, cherry, and more poplar. The neck core, including the fingerboard in this block, is walnut, poplar, purpleheart, poplar, and then sapele mahogany. I even made a matching truss rod cover out of the same thing. The back consists of 1/4 inch padauk with a 1/2 inch wide strip of sapele mahogany, and the control cavity cover is 1/8 inch purpleheart. It's finished in 6 coats of high gloss poly, which you can see I buffed up to a gorgeous shine. The neck is as slick as you can possibly imagine. It weighs 7 pounds. It's extremely light and extremely comfortable. You can see that the neck heel looks like it's all seamless in one piece. The trem itself is a GFS Xtrem. I wanted to try one out because I've heard rave reviews about them. Easier to string than a Bigsby, a little bit more range than a Bigsby, and it's actually pretty good. But I bent the arm to get more range out of it because it comes with the arm is straight. And when you have 11s, it pulls it down and you don't get a lot of range. So I bent the arm, and it goes slack. And then you have a Wilkinson bridge. The pickups are a trio of vintage 60s Teisco Japanese pickups that look very similar to Burns Trisonics. In fact, the dimensions are almost exactly the same in terms of the length and the width, but they're about that tall, so they sit in very deep cavities. What I did was I rewired them each to 3 conductor lead, 2 conductor and dedicated ground, and then I triple wax potted them so that way they would not squeal and they would be very quiet. They're actually rather quiet for single coils. And all 3 of them are in the 5.5K range, 5.2 to 5.5, something like that. So they've got a really nice vintage tone to them, but they still have very much a Brian May type sound. You can hear it. It's great. 250K volume, 250K tone with a .02 cap, wired 50 style where the tone pot is wired to the output of the volume. You know my reasoning for that. Maple volume knob, bubinga tone knob, Switchcraft barrel jack, and then my modified RS wiring, which basically consists of the master switch, which is a three-way toggle between the neck and bridge in series or both, and then you have an on-off phase switch for the middle pickup, series parallel switch for the bridge pickup, and then here, this bank of sliders, you have the phase switch for the neck pickup, series parallel for the middle pickup, and phase switch for the bridge pickup. The tuners are ProLine locking tuners, which you've heard me rave about before. They're really great. Oh, and on the back of the headstock you can see where I have my company info that says D Guitars Miami and RS number 7. And on the headstock we have a 1963 British sixpence doubloon inlaid. Oh, and in my little sound hole you can see the label that I put in that, you know, states the model and so forth. And last, a set of Mite strap locks on this really cool strap that seems to fit the motif. And I'm even wearing a shirt that also fits the motif. Okay, so the body is about 1.5 inches thick. When you factor in the pickguard, talking 1 5/8 inches. Very comfortable, very light. The neck is 22 millimeters thick all the way up, my true 22 neck. 1 3/4 inch wide nut, 25.5 inch scale, 24 frets, 12 inch radius. The 0 fret is stainless steel, as are the first 3. They're stainless steel jumbos, and the remaining frets are my preferred tall skinnies. The action is set at actually set at below 1/16 of an inch at the 12th fret. I wanted to see how low I could take the action on this, and I got it insanely low. There's no fret buzz, and after I set the intonation I said, you know, I think I'm going to leave the action like that for a while. So, okay, now I've given basically the entire story of this. How does it sound? Well, here's your bridge and middle pickup together in series, and tell me if this progression sounds familiar. That's the bridge and middle clean. Here's your neck and middle together in series clean. Not a bad drop, huh? Alright, now let's throw the neck and middle out of phase. With distortion, you can do the Bohemian Rhapsody solo and it sounds exactly like it. Okay, now, bridge and middle out of phase in series. Back in phase. Now bridge and middle in phase, in parallel. It's more of like a stratty type sound. Just not as much quack because the pickups are still a little bit wider and thicker. Series, you can hear the difference. Okay, now neck and middle together in phase and in parallel. Okay, now let's put the 3 of them together. The middle pickup is in parallel with them, but the neck and bridge are in series, which gives a very cool tone sound to it. Okay, so you get the idea. That those are our clean tones, and of course, as I roll off the volume, you'll notice that it maintains all the highs. It still maintains the highs. If I roll off the tone, you see how gradual it is. And it's fantastic. I love this. I fucking love this guitar. Okay, so you heard the clean tones. Let's put on some crunchy and see if we can, you know, evoke a little bit of Spirit of Queen into this guitar. Neck and middle together, out of phase. I'm telling you. Part of the reason I went with these pickups was because I wanted to kind of go for that Greco BM900 look. You know, the Japanese Greco unlicensed Brian May copy from the 70s. So when I got these pickups, I searched for them just for this, you know, because I wanted to kind of invoke that and really get that kind of a vibe. Alright, so here's neck and middle together, in series, in phase. Shut off the middle pickup, so now we have just the neck pickup. And here's the bridge pickup. And you can hear it's whisper quiet. I mean, one pickup is on, you can barely hear any hum. And, you know, tuning stability is fantastic. How many times have I been hitting the bar on this thing? Bending the hell out of the string. Alright, so you've heard how it sounds. You heard how it sounds with some crunch. Let's put some shred distortion on and really see how she goes. Bridge and middle series. neck by itself. Bridge by itself. Neck and middle out of phase. Bridge and middle out of phase. Back and face. Okay, anyway, I think you get the idea. I'm in love with this guitar. I mean, I really am. When you're a luthier, you cut a lot of wood, and if you're like me, you don't throw any of it out. So you hoard these scraps of wood. So every few years, I take all these scraps of wood that I've got, and I cut them into strips, and then I make a butcher block guitar. And this time, I just wanted to use up some of my wood, you know, recycle, save the planet, that sort of thing. And I had no idea it was going to end up being one of my favorite players now. I mean, God, this thing is like butter. It's like butter. This thing is fucking amazing. All right, anyway, you get the idea. All right, so until next time, if you've got a guitar that you need repaired, such as a broken headstock, fretwork, electronics, finish work, acoustic, bass, whatever, or if you'd like to have your own Red Special or Red Special hybrid whatever built, or any of my other models such as the new Sweep model, one of my Golden Lions, or one of my Fins, or if you have your own wild idea in mind that you would like to see come to fruition, don't hesitate to give me a call at 305-896-1811. Until next time, Doran Markowitz from Guitars Miami. Thanks for watching. And have a great day.